Well, hello, my name is Robert Alsop. I've been a member of the Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club for 25 years. My Rotary story has to do with education and kids. I like the fact that Rotary has a passionate commitment to help students, to help graduates, provide scholarship, provide backpacks, school supplies, mentoring students, providing books for elementary school students. We do so much to help impact the schools and the students in this community, and that's why I'm a Rotarian.
Yeah, it's a bit more trouble, isn't it, to do that French press?
Yes.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. You'll stand with me. I want to welcome you to the Thursday, March 1st meeting of your Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club as we celebrate 84 years of service to the Irving community. Our invocation today will be led by Reverend Bill LaBar, our pledge led by Harry Chris. Neil and Sandra will lead us in song, and then we will do some of our announcements between our speakers. We have our four-way speech contest, so we're just going to do that up front. So, Bill, lead us this week, right?
Sure. Just so that you will know, I saw Dr. Oberlin again last week. He's about the same, no higher or lower. And remember, we're building flags Saturday, 9 o'clock at the YMCA barn, okay? And I got my COVID shot this week. Woo-hoo. So join me in a spirit of prayer. Eternal God, we give you thanks for the blessings of this day. It's a beautiful day outside. It gives us a suggestion that spring is on the way, and we are thankful for that. We ask your spirit to be upon us and upon our work in this community that we will be working on Saturday, to bless that, to bless this meeting, to bless the food that is set before us, and to keep us this day in your peace. In the name of the Christ, amen.
Amen. Now we're going to sing the Rotary song, but we've had a little bit of logistics. Well, looks like the words are up there. So let's go. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up. I messed up. Yes, we're going to do the pledge. Harry Chris, lead us in pledge. The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. He didn't have the words. He doesn't have the second verse up there. We're going to sing the first verse again. All right, Jordan, put the words back up there again. We're going to sing it again. Go ahead. Well done, Neil and Sandra. Thank you, Jordan. For those who don't know, Jordan is remote today. We can run a meeting with a remote virtual host. How cool is that? We have some announcements. We're going to hold those to between our speakers. We have the four-way speech contest today. So I'm going to ask Val to come up and give us a little bit of overview as far as the logistics today. And then we're going to go to our first speaker. And between the speakers, we'll be covering some of the announcements we have. So Val, thank you for helping coordinate. Give Val a very a round of applause.
Hi, everybody. We've extended the invitation for the Irving High Schools to compete in our annual four-way test speech contest being held today. Students will be identified by number until after all speeches are completed. We're pleased to help introduce them to new challenges and opportunities to find their gifts and talents. The four-way test was created in 1932 by Rotarian Herbert J. Taylor when he was asked to take charge of a company that was facing bankruptcy. This test for employees to follow in their business and professional lives became a guide for sales, production, advertising, and all relations with dealers and customers. And the survival of the company is credited to this simple philosophy. It was adopted by Rotary in 1943. The four-way test has been translated into more than 100 languages and published in thousands of ways. I'd like to now introduce speaker number 1 to come up and give their speech.
Good afternoon. Before we begin, I want everyone to imagine something with me. So I know it's been a while since a lot of you have been in school, but bear with me, please. So you're back in school and you have this huge, all-important test coming up. You have spent the entirety of the fall and spring semesters preparing for this test. And by now, all this information and materials are swirling around in your brain, just waiting to be used and written down. Yet even after all this, after all your time spent studying and being focused in class, you still felt unprepared. You have taken multiple benchmarks and smaller quizzes throughout the year in preparation, but your performance on them was not up to your standards. But well, there's nothing you can do about that now because that test is tomorrow. So once at school, your stomach doing flips, your hands sweating, your heart racing, all you want is for this test to be over with. This is what students of all ages experience multiple times a year. This is what standardized testing looks like. So without further ado, let's put standardized testing up to the Rotary's four-way test. 1, is it the truth? Yes, students of all ages are subject to standardized testing. Here in Texas specifically, it's after the 2nd grade. We have STAR testing, MAP testing, PSAT, SAT, ACT, just to name a few. All of these tests are homogenized, measuring students' progress all at once. They are taught that this exam is the one thing that matters. It will determine if you go on to the next grade level. It will determine if you qualify for a scholarship. It will determine if you are fit to attend a certain college. With this mindset, students become one-track minded, focusing only on whatever core curriculum is required of them to get good marks on the test at the end of the year. But it's important to remember that they are kids. We are kids, even in high school. We need to make sure to leave time to play and learn and be with friends and family and just to relax. Because yes, doing well in school is important, but not at the cost of overwhelming anxiety and nonstop studying. 2, is it fair to all concerned? Well, that seems to be the question. To many policymakers and educators, the answer would be yes. It is a fair way to gauge students' progress. They learn required material in school and then get tested on how well they retain the information. Altogether, easy, fair. But ask a student and they would have to disagree. It is not fair. It's not fair to put students under so much pressure as they bubble in answer sheets that will undoubtedly determine their future. It is unfair to base a person's ability to attend a certain college based on how well they understood an 18th century blurb from a novel. No, it is not fair to those students who are just bad test takers. When a student is excelling in class and they read aloud an advanced book, or blossoming as they work on a hands-on science experiment, who are we to disqualify that knowledge because they did not bubble it in on a Scantron? Students are all unique in the way they learn and process information. Why on earth would we use a standardized test to measure that knowledge? If teachers were allowed to use a different means to prove a student's growth and understanding, like observing how they participate in class, or how they collaborate with their peers. We could do away with uniform exams, as they are better indicators as to how well students are performing than a single day's exam scores. So no, it is not fair to all concerned. 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Well, let me ask you, when you have hundreds of standards you are expected to make, is your number one priority going to be wanting to make friends and being genuinely content? Probably not. Standardized testing causes anxiety, puts unnecessary stress on students, and fosters intense competitions between classmates, which isn't exactly goodwill. Easing off of the countless standardized exams will allow students to build stronger relationships, give them freedom to enjoy class, and simply have time to catch their breath and relax. Because frankly, worrying about these tests and studying to do their absolute best on them is extremely taxing. 4, will it be beneficial to all? Standardized tests measure how well students can answer multiple choice questions. They're expected to show all that they have learned, prove that they know and have retained that information in the span of less than 4 hours. Now, I don't know about you, but this doesn't seem like an amazing system to gauge students' progress. It does, however, seem like a lazy system. It's a lot easier to sit hundreds of kids in rooms, make them bubble in answers on a bubble sheet, and then scan a Scantron. In addition, teachers are expected to teach to the test, focusing solely on whatever material will be covered on the exam at the end of the year. But how is this beneficial for anyone? Not only are students missing out on other material that cannot possibly fit into a 4-hour maximum test, but there is so much more to learn than what is considered core curriculum. And in most cases, these classes end up becoming mundane, as teachers do not feel the need to add any extra assignments or projects that allow kids to be creative and learn hands-on. Because as long as they're learning the required core curriculum in class, they will be prepared for that test at the end of the year. And that's all that matters, right? So, to recap, while standardized testing is the truth, it is not fair to all concerned, and it does not build goodwill or better friendships. Neither is it beneficial to all. While we have become aware of the negatives, I am not blind to how these tests are still useful. It is important to have a standard for college entrances and such, so I understand that tests are needed but should be modified and limited, especially in the younger age groups. I was a student aide in elementary class last year, and I think that slowly implementing standardized testing into middle school and then progressively increasing the amount and length throughout high school is the best strategy. Taking too many tests throughout the year, including benchmarks and those alike, results in students becoming burned out before they have even taken the actual real deal tests. This can lead to them performing poorly at the end of the year, which is simply no longer caring. This slow introduction of standardized testing will prepare students for the important exams, like those for college, without burning them out by the time they are sophomores in high school. So all things considered, standardized testing does not meet the Rotary's requirements. But my question to everyone today is, does it meet yours? Thank you.
All right, thank you. While our judges are collecting their notes, then we're going to continue with a few of our announcements. Let me give you an update on our flag program. Bill talked about the fact that we're going to be building flags this Saturday. If you could let either Bill know or me know if you're coming, I'm actually going to prepare breakfast for everybody. So yeah, so I need to know how many to prepare for. And some of you students, if you need some volunteer hours, want to help us build flags, I'll feed you, all right? We have 626 paid flags. We have 1,471 pending. So we're about a third of the way to our 2,000 number. And so far we've had $28,784 in subscriptions come in. So we want to say thank you to Kathy and Lindy and all those that are working on that side of the flag program. Now we got to get a bunch of flags built and repaired and ready for that. Are we ready for our second speaker? Not yet. All right, we'll let our judges have just another moment. Lazaro, would you come up and give us a quick update on what's happening next Saturday?
Good afternoon, everybody. As you guys know, we've been working on bringing safe running events back to North Texas. And we have continued our plans for the Irving St. Patrick's 5K that we have scheduled for March 13th at Toyota Music Factory, benefiting Baylor Scott and White Irving Foundation. So we are going to have a small race. It's a 5K. It's a 600 people participant max. We are continuing with the safety plans that have previously been approved by the city mayor so it's going to be a safe event with plenty of social distancing. So if you guys are around, there's going to be a lot of people on the street. So come here. There's going to be plenty of social distance spaces where you can go. The race route now we're utilizing Lake Carolyn Promenade. So that showcases Las Colinas. It's also going to go through the downtown, through the Mustang. So a lot of people are going to get to see Irving and run through the streets. So it's going to be very exciting. So if you guys are around March 13th, come to Toyota Music Factory. We're going to have more details for the Irving Marathon here pretty soon. That is scheduled for March 27th. And that's going to be a little bit of a bigger race. And again, safety parameters will be in place, same that have been previously approved by all the different departments. So we're very excited about that. If you guys have any questions, go to irvingmarathon.com. That is where you can find more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Excited about that. It's incredible that our community and our city can host that, and one of our Rotarians is helping to coordinate it. Ready for speaker 2? Is that a thumbs up? All right, speaker number 2, come on up.
Civil society. It is everything between the individual and the state. It is what transforms you into a functioning member of society. Everything ranging from the family, schools, religious institutions, jobs, clubs, and other social organizations are part of civil society. Such institutions are necessary for a well-functioning society, as they help combat the negative aspects of human nature. Unfortunately, the recent decline in such institutions has led to deterioration of our country via tribalism and polarization. Throughout human history, the most immediate and vital institutions of civil society are marriage and family. The family unit is aware of responsibilities it has within its community, more specifically, instilling the proper customs, morals, knowledge, and socialization skills necessary to function in society. Now, is this the truth today? Unfortunately, the institutions of marriage and family have steadily declined over the past half century. Marriage rates are decreasing while rates of cohabitation and divorce are steadily increasing. In comparison to the 1950s, a higher proportion of children in America are raised in single-parent households, either due to the lack of marriage or the increase of divorce or unsuccessful cohabitation. This shift in the family dynamic has proven to be detrimental to those who are experiencing it firsthand. Being a member of a dysfunctional family stunts one's ability to conform to society due to a lack of socialization within the home. Is this fair to everyone who's concerned? No. Children raised under such circumstances are susceptible to increased dropout rates, teenage pregnancy, crime rates, etc. When these children grow up to be adults, they usually lose faith in the institution of marriage, often refusing to marry or opting to cohabitate with a romantic partner. The disintegration of the family unit can be attributed to the overall shift in attitude towards marriage and its members. As we transition from a formal civil institution to something that fulfills solely romantic desires. In the eyes of many, marriage is an outdated tradition that cannot work if both partners are not romantically devoted. The institution of marriage has lost its intended meaning, and this occurrence has negatively affected our children and young adults. What was once true 50 years ago no longer is today, and it isn't fair for everyone involved. Human interaction as a whole has also seen a decline over the past half century. Will this create goodwill and better friendships? Not if we continue down the same path. Similarly to how belonging to a functional family is essential for one's social and civil development, so is the creation and maintenance of meaningful friendships. Having strong relationships within the community enables people to fulfill the basic human need to create and share bonds with people. On top of this, having regular interactions within the community allows us to put our virtues into practice. being a good neighbor, being a good friend, being a good community member. These are all virtues expected from every single community member. But when association is declining at the rate that it's been, it's difficult for people to put said virtues into practice, let alone hold them. This increase in association can also be observed within the home. Fewer families nowadays eat dinner regularly together, with a sharp decline in families breaking bread together having occurred in the past 50 years. This trend goes against a fundamental feature of all human societies. For millennia, people have gone together to eat, enabling them to bond and share experiences with each other. Americans are not engaging in their communities as often as they used to anymore. We are now isolating ourselves from our communities and people from our very own households, leaving us with less room to create meaningful relationships. Now, just as families and outside associations are experiencing a decline, religiosity is also dwindling at a steady pace nationwide. Religious institutions, regardless of faith, are an essential part of civil society as they give members of communities a means to interact and socialize with each other. With the rise of religious nuns, church attendance has suffered, resulting in a decreased socialization in one's religious communities. This decrease in religiosity is a concern when taking account observations of people who identify as non-religious often do not participate in their own communities when compared to their religious counterparts. The decline in association is much less noticeable among the religious. People who regularly worship, regardless of faith, interact with more people, are often more involved with their communities by participating in clubs and other organizations, as well as giving to charity. Even more so, when one is raised in a family that adheres to the congregation's outcome, they grow up to be better suited in that community as they share the community's basic beliefs and virtues. Returning to the previous levels of association and religiosity is what's going to create goodwill and better friendships. Now, if we are to focus on rebuilding our institutions of civil society, it would surely be beneficial to all. Having more people with sound beliefs and virtues in our lives will allow us to be more successful, more fulfilled, and happy with our lives, and hopefully less polarized. Thank you.
All right. I don't think our third speaker has arrived, so we may only be having two. Is that right? Okay. So we're going to let our judges continue to tally their results, and I want to give you a couple of other announcements. So first of all, Ryan Maney. Is there a Ryan Maney in the house? There he is. Ryan is our newest club member. Come on up front. I have your Rotary badge. Now we have nice blue badges. This is a red badge. This tells us that you're a new member.
All right.
And there's a few things that you got to do to get your blue badge, but go ahead and put that on your lapel.
All right.
And make sure when you leave, there's a box back there. You can put it in the boxes alphabetically, but that way everybody knows you. Ryan, we're glad to have you in Rotary.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be ready to give you a blue badge here in about a month. All
All
right.
right. Thank you, everybody.
Let's give it up for Ryan. All right.
Oh,
Oh,
picture?
picture. Excellent.
All right.
Let's shake it again.
Here
All
we
right.
go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Great job. Let me give you a couple of other quick announcements, and Val, if you can give me the heads up when the judges are ready. Those of you that are either going to join us on Zoom next week or join us in person, we're going to be introducing and having the club vote on the officers for the upcoming 2021-2022 Rotary year. So just letting you know, those nominees are already out here if you'd like to know who they are, but I'm going to be introducing those. I've already spoke with our current board about that, and today I spoke with our past presidents about our new officers. So just letting you know that they'll be introduced and you'll have a chance to vote on them as a whole at next week's meeting. So you'll want to either be here in person or join us for that. Still working on our tallies, judges? Yes? Yes, you're ready, or no, you're not ready? Okay, all right. So I'm going to continue to do my soft shoe up here, and we'll let them get everything recognized. Next week's program is going to be Matt Keynes. Y'all may remember Matt was here about a year ago and spoke to us about his family's vintage cars that were going to auction. Matt's family also has a special foundation that takes physically impaired adults water skiing. So quite an interesting program. I've seen some of the footage he showed me from his phone, but they take individuals that have never, a lot of times never even been on a boat. Not only do they get a chance to get on a boat, they get to get on a special designed ski for those that are handicapped and go water skiing. So Matt's going to be here next week. You want to be here and hear that program. We're also working to fill out our Rotary programs for the rest of this Rotary year. We have 7 program dates that are open between now and the end of June. So if you've heard of a program recently, or maybe you've recommended a program we haven't been able to get scheduled, myself or Rick Lindsay, who've been helping me with programs, we'd love to have your assistance as we work to try to fill those programs out between now and the end of the year. And for those of you that have been a long time attendees at the club, you know that Jim Gatewood, the professor at Richland College, comes about every other year and gives us a program about Texas history. He was here about 2 years ago and talked to us about the mafia's connection with the JFK assassination. Very interesting. He's got another topic, and we're trying to work to get him scheduled either in April or June. We'll let you know when he's going to be here so you can plan to attend. How we doing, judges? You ready? We're going to do the introduction, so you want me to have each of them come forward? Speaker number 1, would you come forward and introduce yourself to us? All right. Just when she was getting ready to enjoy her meal, I'm calling her back up here. She had that bite right there, and she put her fork down. Thank you so much. We're glad you're here. Introduce yourself to the club and tell us what your plans are after high school graduation.
Okay, so my name is Abby Garza. I am a senior at MacArthur High School. My plans after graduation, so far I'm thinking about going to University of Dallas here in Irving, and after that I'm thinking about getting my teacher certificate so I can teach here in Irving.
All right, can I shake your hand here? Let Kathy get a picture, get background. Abby, thank you. We hope you'll come back and join the Irving ISD. You'll make an outstanding teacher. All right? Thank you very much. Speaker number 2, he's already got his fork put down. He knew I was going to call on him. So come up and introduce yourself to us. All right.
My name is Jeremy Vasquez, and after high school, I'm planning to attend the University of North Texas at Denton and major in music and minoring in business. After I graduate, I would like to return to Irving High School to continue my love and passion for music and pass it down to the next generation of students.
All right, so those of you that are with the school district, take note, we have 2 future employees. So let's keep track of these guys when they graduate, make sure they come back. Val, anything else you need me to do, or are you ready to come back up? All right, y'all give it up for Val.
It was a great job by the students. I think that a round of applause for the students, the parents, the teachers. There's so much that goes into these students being able to come up here and present in a contest like this. And I think they did a great job. We did have 3 judges throughout the room. It was, they did a tally, and we do have a first and second place. We have certificate of participation, and we also have scholarship checks that we will have for the students. First, I'd like to announce the second place. Student number 2, Jeremy Vasquez. Just come up. I guess we have to go over here. We have the certificate of participation, and we will have a $200 check for you as well that we're going to mail out to you.
All right.
So congratulations. Okay. Thank you. And we have the winner of the contest, Abby Garza. We have the certificate of participation for you, and we'll have a $400 scholarship check mailed to you.
Thank you.
Yes. It's exciting, isn't it? Thank you. So, no, no.
Can I call them back up or have them introduce their parents and sponsors? All right, Abby, before you sit down there, could I get you to come back up? And I want you to introduce your parent or sponsor, whoever's here with you today. Do you have anybody here with you? Yeah, come back up. We already said, acknowledge them, but I want you to introduce who you have with you as your guest today, all right?
I have my English teacher here first, Miss Phelan. I've had her for 2 years. So
All right, stand up so we can all see you.
And then I have my 2 parents here also joining me. So, yeah.
Abby, good job, all
Thank
right?
you.
Thank you very much. Abby, there's not too many jobs in life that you can speak 5 to 7 minutes and get paid $400, but that's a pretty good job. Jeremy, come up here. Would you introduce your parent or sponsor, whoever you have with you today? And Jeremy, I just want you to know I'm a little envious of your hair, all right? You know, next time you get a haircut, just save a little bit of it for me, all right?
All right. Today I have my academic decathlon coach with me, Mr. James Newman.
James. Hey, thank you, Jeremy. Congratulations, glad for being here. Well, we appreciate the students and we value our relationship that we have with the Irving ISD. Every year you're able to send incredible students that will be part of our 4-way speech contest. Abby, you'll be going on to the district competition. So we want you to do well in district and continue on. But again, we're just excited about the future and these 2 students being able to perhaps come back someday and work for the school district. And maybe they'll be bringing their students up for the 4-way speech contest. That would be amazing. I'm looking to see if I missed any announcements. I think I have covered everything. We did not have any visiting Rotarians and guests other than the students, so that's why we did not introduce anybody there. So we're going to conclude a few minutes early, which I think is amazing that you have a 4-way speech contest and still finish early. So if you'll stand with me, Richard Raymond is going to lead us in our 4-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And just one last thing before I gavel us out of here. We've begun to have conversations with our past presidents council about having an 85th anniversary celebration for our club in February of 2022. Our club was chartered February 16th, 1937. I think there's only a couple of you that were part of the original group. We won't say who you no, none of you were here. But we're going to have a celebration. So if you're interested in helping serve on that planning team, get in touch with me and we're going to have a coordinating board. We've got about 10 months to organize and make that happen. So thank you. Do you have something else? Okay, so next week, wear your mask, which would be smart to do that when you don't know who you're going to be around anyway. So, but make sure you wear it to Rotary. Well, we're going to adjourn. Thanks to the students, their parents, the teachers, sponsors. We're grateful for you being here, and we are adjourned.